We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
Good news for the economy, student debt relief halted in the courts, and more tech layoffs coming. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lupkin, and here's the news you need to know. Some positive economic news. Gross domestic product rose at 2.9% annual rate in the third quarter after falling in the first two quarters of 2022. A stronger than expected performance that eases fears about an imminent recession. The 2.9% growth in the third quarter was revised up from the first estimate of an increase of 2.6%, which was issued last month by the Bureau of Economic Analysis. Economists had expected the revised number to remain at 2.6%, according to FedSat. Experts forecast the economy will grow again the fourth quarter, with the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta expecting an expansion of 4.3%. U.S. personal income also increased by more than expected in the month of October. The report from the Commerce Department said personal income climbed by 0.7% in October, after rising by 0.4% in September. Economists had expected another 0.4% increase. The stronger than expected personal income growth primarily reflected increases in compensation and government social benefits. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said that the central bank will continue raising interest rates to cool the economy and bring down the highest inflation in decades, but indicated the central bank would likely start making smaller hikes, possibly at its next meeting. The Fed has made 4 straight three-quarter-point increases, stoking concerns that the unusually aggressive moves would push the economy into a recession. But Powell suggested in a speech to the Brookings Institute that the Fed might raise its benchmark short-term interest rate by just a 0.5 percentage point in December. We think that slowing down at this point is a good way to balance the risks, Powell said. Stocks soared after Powell's remarks. The House on Wednesday passed a bill seeking to impose a new contract on rail workers to prevent a strike that could devastate the economy. President Biden called for Congress to intervene as railway workers vowed to strike by December 9th if unions and rail companies couldn't reach a new agreement. The bill passed the House 290 to 137 and now heads to the Senate, where Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Minority Leader Mitch McConnell have both called for approving the legislation quickly. A separate measure requiring 7 days of paid sick leave for railroad employees, a key demand of rail worker unions and progressive Democrats, passed by a narrower margin and faces uncertain prospects in the evenly divided Senate. Food delivery company DoorDash announced that it would lay off 1,250 employees, about 6% of its workforce, making it the latest tech company to cut staff. DoorDash CEO Tony Xu called the layoffs the most difficult change he had to make in the company's nearly 10-year history. I know that for many of you, today's news will come as a shock, especially because our business remains strong and continues to grow, Xu said on the company's blog. DoorDash and other high-profile tech companies hired aggressively earlier in the coronavirus pandemic when lockdowns and fear of infection forced people to work, study, shop, and seek entertainment online. But many now need to make cuts as life returns to normal. A federal appeals court on Wednesday rejected a Biden administration request to overturn a ruling by a lower court in Texas blocking President Biden's $400 billion student loan forgiveness program. The brief order by a 3-judge panel of the New Orleans-based U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit set up a likely appeal to the Supreme Court. The High Court is already considering an appeal of a ruling by the St. Louis-based Eighth Circuit Appeals Court that also blocked the program, which offers $10,000 in loan forgiveness to borrowers making less than $125,000 a year and another $10,000 in student debt forgiveness to Pell Grant recipients. The Biden administration 2 weeks ago started notifying people approved for debt relief under the stalled program. The stalled program has been halted by judges appointed by both Obama and Trump. So this is a bipartisan effort stating that this program cannot go forward as it has been pushed by the Biden administration. The reasoning for this is that the Biden administration lacks the ability to do this. It has to be done by Congress. That's the raw naked truth. You can catch every episode of The Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com/podcasts, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.